Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching me from. Welcome back to At Home and Farm with Dotty, your place for authentic content and realistic living here in the homestead. Now, today we want to look into something very important, and that concerns cleaning up for baby chicks. You know, the way you clean for a main chicken coop with birds over 6 months old is not the same way that you will clean for these very delicate and brittle babies. I call them babies because they are really very small. So these are baby chicks, and I'm going to show you what we are doing to ensure the environment is clean and hygienically appealing. So cleaning up after these baby chicks generally involves maintaining a clean and dry environment. This one is supposed to help you to prevent health issues. It also involves removing any wetness or any soiled bedding. So for us, what we are doing, we don't remove the bedding, but we layer a new layer of straw or sawdust on top. This one will help to keep the one below dry, and also that means where they shall be stepping will not be wet. You do this periodically. You also make sure that the windows are opened to allow for aeration and to allow for the birds to breathe fresh air if you don't want them to have those bad diseases for the respiratory function area. Now, step number one can involve removing the soiled bedding, as I have explained, but also make sure you give them clean food and water. That means you'll have to clean their drinkers every day, and you will have to make sure they are dry. You can use disinfectant, because what we use a biosafe disinfectant to clean their drinkers and their feeders. Apart from that, you have to make sure that their poop is not sticking around in the areas that are open. The open areas, I mean on the feeder, on the drinker, on the sideways. Just make sure that you remove all the pasty poop that is sticking around, and ensure that the chicks are clean themselves also for the poop or the droppings that have stuck onto them. Now, use a disinfectant that is mild, that does not cause a lot of breathing issues to your birds. Make sure you have one that's recommended from the vet. For the bedding, you need to have no, you need to avoid cedar, because cedar has a very bad strong odor which can cause the chicks to die, especially now that they are developing. And then make sure that the bedding is about 3 to 4 inches. That way it can absorb moisture and minimize the odors out of the droppings. Have somewhere to sanitize yourself. Wash your hands before you approach your chicks. Handle them with care, okay? Make sure you have a very close monitoring system where you observe the chicks every minute to see which one is getting sick, or if there is any problem, you can identify it up front. That is part of keeping them hygienic, because you want to isolate it if you see any problem, so that it doesn't infect the others. These are our basic techniques that we use to ensure that our chicken or our baby chicks are free from diseases. So far, we have experienced zero mortality. We have about 160 birds here, and they are growing, they are going strong. So as you can see there, we are layering, and when we finish, then we shall have the chance to give them their feed after we have put this straw layer on top. Make sure that your bedding is the one that is of chippings and not the lengthy ones, because the lengthy ones can even cause your birds to be stuck and suffocate. Anything that will cause them to restrict their movement, we don't recommend. Tell me about your techniques of how you can ensure that your baby chicks are hygienically kept. For us, apart from vaccinations that help to prevent against diseases, we do those basic things that can really help us to keep them healthy, as you can see them. Give them their feed on time, and layer their bedding on time when you see that it is becoming too wet. So we are just incorporating the deep litter method here, because when you keep layering, it means you're basically composting, but just make sure that the place is not smelling. If it is smelling too much, then you will need to change the bedding, but whatever we are using is enough to absorb the moisture and the wet bedding. Their food should be covered in a container to avoid the rodents. Clean food is also part of biosecurity measures for these baby chicks. Clean food and clean water, what you give them to eat and to feed on. However, on instances where the birds have a problem with feeding and drinking, try as much as possible to get feeders and drinkers that are of the right size, that don't pour a lot of water to cause a lot of wetness on their bedding, and those that they can minimize on pouring food down, because if they keep pouring the food down, it means you're spending too much and you're wasting too much. Let me know in the comment section how you are keeping your brooder clean. For us, our basic systems have caused us to survive. This is almost our 14th week, our 14th day now. We already did the vaccination last week, and we are proud of our achievement. We were doing this for the first time, and we really appreciate the progress. So we are learning, and we hope you are also learning. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you all. I will see you in the next video. As you can see, we are removing the pieces that are a bit rough. Just make sure the bedding is as smooth as possible and everything you have placed there does not break. There are no nails, because sometimes you can just pour the bedding and yet there are some things there that are dangerous to your birds. I welcome you to watch out for the next vlog where we shall be learning more about poultry farming and brooding. Until next time, it's a wrap from me and goodbye, and thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel. If this is your first time on my channel, consider to subscribe, leave a comment and like this video so that it can be recommended to others who also would wish to learn. Thank you so much.